Hello and welcome. You tune into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Cheryl D'Souza. And this is the show where we take you through all the stocks that are buzzing away in trade, either on the back of research or on the back of technicals. But let's first quickly take where the markets are at. Market check. Cheryl, we're comfortably in the green right now, even after that gap down opening that we saw in the morning. We're comfortably in the green, and Nifty is right now hovering somewhere around its resistance levels.
Yes, absolutely. A very good afternoon to you, Ankita. You rightly spotted that the fact that the markets actually saw a downtick and open from there on. We've recovered in trade and a healthy recovery. We've sustained the recovery. As you can see it on your screen, over 190 points uptick from the day's lowest point coming in for the Nifty index, now hovering around the day's highest point. Even Nifty Bank has actually moved in tandem when I talk about the recovery. If you look at Nifty Bank right now, it is trading flat with a positive bias. At one point in time, it was seeing sharper cuts when you compare it to the benchmark indices. So at day's highest point coming in for Nifty Bank, seeing it up to about 1% or so. Broader markets comfortably in the positive territory with mid-cap and small-cap both recovering in excess of about 1% from the day's lowest point. So yes, that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time. Ankita, we started a brand new day and on a positive footing.
Cheryl, well then let's get started and tell you all the stocks that are in news today, and for that we are joined by Aditya Agarwala, who's the head of research and investments at Invest4edu on the technicals, and from our researchers team we have Ansh and Jinay joining us. Hi gentlemen, welcome to Fatafat. And then let's get started with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade, and I've picked out HG Infra for us. In fact, the stock was trading with gains of over 8% today, and this comes after the fact that the company has incorporated 6 new solar power units, namely HG Kapuria Solar Project, HG Jetpur Solar Project, HG Bhara Solar Project, HG Surana Solar Project, HG Pilwana and HG Jharkhand Solar Project. And the company said in an exchange filing that each of the incorporated company has authorized, subscribed and paid up share capital of 1 lakh rupees dividend into 10,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, and the company further also disclosed that the initial subscription for each unit share capital includes 51,000 rupees, which is divided into 5,100 equity shares of rupees 10 face value and subscribed by HG Infra Engineering. So on the back of this news, HG Infra is in focus today. In fact, it's trading with gains of over 7% right now.
All right, let's move on then. Aditya, good afternoon to you, and the stock that you are tracking for us is Somani Ceramics. How is this one actually looking on the charts to you, a sector that you don't talk much about, but nevertheless the charts are looking very bright?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Cheryl. Good afternoon, Ankita as well. Thanks for the show. I believe this entire space is looking very interesting after a clutch of real estate stocks, and the housing finance companies have already shot up. I think it's time to look at all these I could say maybe housing ancillary stocks. All of them are going up. They did last week as well, and this week also they started on a very strong note. Somani Ceramic I've picked out because I still feel that there is room on the upside. The risk to reward is in favor of going long even at current levels. It's broken out from a bullish cup and handle pattern neckline, which was closer to about 775 on extremely healthy volumes. And I believe now the stock is poised to test levels of 950 to about 1000 on the upside, with a good support on the downside at 720, 700. Plus, MACD has given a positive breakout, and RSI has also entered into the bull territory. So everything is going good for the stock, and I believe at current levels offers a risk to reward also very favorable in going long at current levels. So for a target of 950,000, I would be a buyer in the stock with a stop loss at 700 on the downside.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Somani Ceramics. But let's talk about Root Mobile, and that particular counter has hit over 5-month high in today's intraday trading session. It saw an uptick of as much as 10.9% at one point in time, which is the highest level since January 15th. The company has said that they've enabled WhatsApp-based ticketing for Nagpur, Pune, Hyderabad, as well as Delhi Metro. And also they've said that they've partnered with BillEasy to extend WhatsApp-based metro rail ticket booking. So on back of that, the stock is seeing good strength in trade today, 8% uptick, and it is gaining for a second consecutive session.
All right, moving to another counter, which is seeing no stopping. In fact, this counter has given some stellar returns over the last 6 months. GRSE, Ansh, that's the name that you've picked out, trading with gains of 7% today. Tell us, what's the news flow that's powering the stock?
Yes, so the company has signed contract with a German company for construction and delivery of 4 multi-purpose vessels of 7,500 DWT each, with an option of building another 4 ships in near future. The ships have been specifically designed to carry multiple large windmill blades on the deck. Also, the consideration of this order is around $54 million. Also, if you see the chart, the stock seems to have snapped its 3-session losing streak and it trades above key DMA levels. Also, if you see on a larger time frame, like you mentioned, this year the stock has gained over 100%. So everything looks positive for the stock.
All right.
Let's look at the new guidance. So for the gross loan book growth, the company had earlier guided a growth of about 25%, but now has lowered to 20% now. If you look at credit cost, they have increased the guidance. Earlier was 1.5%, but the latest one stands at 1.7%. If you look at NIMs, they will be remaining at around 9%. But if you talk about ROE, which is return on equity, they say that it will be about 20% this year versus 22% of the earlier guidance. Now, the company has also highlighted some FY 2025 growth strategy. The company will be focusing on improving their asset book with the mixed of balance on the both sides, secured as well as unsecured. The company will be strengthening its deposit franchisee, and the company wants to be amongst the best of the affordable housing finance in this segment. And then they also want to emerge as amongst top 3 preferred vehicle loan finance company.
All right, that's Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. But coming to you, Aditya, then, United Spirits is what you've picked out for us. Tell us, what are you seeing on the charts for this one?
A very interesting looking stock, Ankita. Stock, after a good up move, entered into a pullback, and the pullback halted right at the neckline from which it had broken out earlier. And in trade today, it's resumed its uptrend. Volumes are decent so far. I believe volumes will pick up as we go ahead, maybe in the rest of the trading session and tomorrow. So it offers an excellent risk to reward as well on the upside. I think so stock can easily test levels of 1370 to about 1450. On the downside, 1250 is a very strong support zone. We're just about 30-40 points away from that support zone. So I think with the stop loss just below 1250, one can look at fresh long positions in United Spirits. Look for a target of 1370, 1450 on the upside. RSI has entered into the bull territory, and MACD also suggesting a bullish stance overall for the stock. So I think it's a buy list. It checks all the tech marks.
All right, a buy call coming in on United Spirits there. But moving on, another counter that's in focus today is Lupin. Now, Lupin share gained over 2% in the morning's trade before it gave up those gains, but it was trading higher on the back of a positive inspection report by US FDA. The company received an EIR from US FDA for manufacturing facility at Somerset, New Jersey. The facility was inspected from May 7th to May 17th, and the managing director of Lupin, Nilesh Gupta, said that they are very pleased to have received the EIR with a satisfactory VAI status for the Somerset facility. In fact, this is a significant milestone in building their reputation of being best-in-class quality and compliance. So that's the word coming in from the managing director, and on the back of positive results of the US FDA inspection, Lupin is in focus today.
All right, so Lupin is in focus on back of that particular development. But Aster DM, this particular stock has been in news of late, and also today, once again, this one is in focus because remember on Friday you saw the huge block deal actually take place in Aster DM, and we've got the names of the buyers. So Morgan Stanley and Government of Singapore have picked up a combined stake of approximately 1.9% in the company. This after Olympus Capital's block deal, a block sale that happened. So on back of that, you can see the stocks trading higher by about 4.5%, once again being in news, and this time on the positive territory.
All right, moving on, another name from the healthcare space, and Cipla is what you picked out. Tell us what's the news flow on this one?
Right, so the stock is trading with 2% of decline. So actually US FDA had conducted an inspection at company's manufacturing facility in Goa from 10th to 21st June. And on conclusion of this inspection, the company has received 6 inspectional observations in Form 483, which is a cautious sign. But the company has said that they'll work closely with US FDA and is committed to address this comprehensive observations within stipulated time. Also, if you see the chart, then the stock seems to have given a gap down today, also breakdown from its 8-session consolidation pattern, and in addition to this, it has also slipped below its key 20 DMA level as well, keeping the bias a bit bearish here.
All right, so that is all about Cipla for you. In fact, on the sidelines of ET Now Leadership Dialogues, our colleague Shrishti actually caught up with Umang Vora, who is the CEO of Cipla, global CEO of Cipla. Let's hear what exactly is he talking about.
I think the biggest vision for India would be to launch as many products as we can, all developed and manufactured in our country. So I'd like to see our sector actually not being called a generic sector, but a sector that innovates and a sector that takes our innovation to the rest of the world. So we would be innovators. We'd have several companies that are innovators, all with cutting-edge technology and molecules that are patented.
That's certainly, Umang, but when we talk about the pharma sector, then there are so many breakthroughs that are happening. People are shifting and getting interest into the biosimilar space. There's a diabetic drug which is actually useful in the weight loss. So keeping India's positioning, where do you see that India could play the bigger role in any such big theme that you are tracking at this point?
So definitely in areas where I would think innovation is required in terms of cost, supply chain. But I also think areas where drugs which cure diseases in this side of the world are really important. For example, the Western world is not working as much on antimicrobial research. It's not working on drugs of choice that are probably needed for our therapies here in India. And I think that is where companies like ours and companies in the pharmaceutical industry in India will make a big impact.
All right, let's resume with telling you all the stocks that are in focus today. And coming to you, Junaid, TBO Tech is the name that you picked out for us. A brokerage note that came out in the morning for this one. Tell us, what is the brokerage note saying?
So Goldman Sachs have initiated a buying rating on the company with a target price of rupees 1,970. If you look at the financials over the last 5 years, the company's revenue has grown by 26% CAGR. And what Goldman believes that over next 3 years fiscal from FY 2024 to FY 2027, these revenues are set to grow at a CAGR of 22%. Also, they have highlighted some positive characteristics for the stocks. They believe that the company is exposed to large and fragmented total addressable markets, which will act as a tailwind for the company. They believe that company has a strong execution track record of the history, and they also have an asset-light balance sheet, which will aid them to generate strong free cash flow. The company has low competition and regulatory risk, and Goldman believes that the company, the ratio of total FCF to PAT ratio will be higher than 100% in foreseeable future. So very strong positive note coming in from Goldman Sachs on TBO Tech, and the stock is trading above 8% in today's session.
Absolutely, a brokerage note coming in, initiating coverage, and the stock is trading higher by about 8%. A recently listed counter, that is. Aditya, coming to you, let's talk about Dr. Reddy's. And how is actually this one looking on the charts to you?
Interesting one, Cheryl. Stock hasn't moved yet within the pharma space. We are seeing some kind of an activity build up again. And Dr. Reddy, I think, is gearing up for a breakout from a downward sloping trend line. The neckline is placed somewhere close to about 6,070. So the moment stock starts to trade beyond 6,070, we will witness a clear breakout from that downward sloping neckline. And then the stock can test easily levels of 6,500 to about 6,600. More of a positional trade, Cheryl, but I think this is one trade traders should not miss out on. Another downside, 5,900 to about 5,950 is a good strong support. Plus, all the technical indicators are also suggesting the bullish momentum will follow through soon in the stock. So overall, it's a very bullish looking stock.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break with some more stocks. Welcome back. You're tuned into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Cheryl D'Souza. So let's get started yet again with all the stocks that are in focus today. And Welspun Specialty Solutions, this counter is buzzing away in trade. In fact, it is trading with gains of 12% right now. In the morning, it was trading with gains of over 17%. This is on the back of the fact that the company has been named as the L1 bidder by BHEL for the supply of seamless stainless steel boiler tubes for the National Thermal Power Corporation's Talcher 2 into 660 megawatt supercritical thermal power project, and the cost of this entire contract is 117 crore rupees. And on the back of this contract win, Welspun Specialty Solutions is trading with gains of over 12% right now.
All right, moving on, Aditya, let's talk about ICICI Pru Life. And this particular stock, if you've seen, is only given a very marginal uptick over the last 6 months, or even for the matter of fact 1 year as well. The gains or returns coming out from this one has not been that exciting. What are the charts telling you now? Do you think exciting times ahead for ICICI Pru?
I think, Cheryl, in fact, the entire space could be very interesting heading closer towards the budget as well. There could be something in for the sector. And overall, if I talk about ICICI Prudential in particular, the stock is gearing up for a breakout from a consolidation phase. Interesting part is in the recent pullback that the stock had given last week, stock did take support at the neckline from which it had broken out last week. So I think now it's getting up for a move again on the upside. It can test levels of 645 to about 660. On the downside, immediate supports are at 590 to about 585. So it's just about 10 rupees away from where it is trading right now. I think one can definitely look at adding onto the position right now in ICICI Prudential for a target of 650, 660. RSI is also inching above the 60 level mark, so that is entering into a strong bull territory zone, which suggests that a good up move can be seen maybe in the coming trading sessions.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Sangvi movers then. And this particular counter is seeing a good uptick on an intraday basis. At one point in time, it was trading higher by about 3.8%. Now the stock is trading higher in excess of about 4% or so. And this because it has received two work orders with a total value of over 180 crore rupees. And on back of that, the stock has snapped a 3-day losing streak. And hopefully, it will be able to sustain and close above these levels going ahead. And Sangvi movers to you buzzing on back of two orders in excess of about 180 crore rupees.
All right, Ansh, JSW Energy is what you've picked out for us. Another order win coming in. Tell us about the order win that's powering the stock.
Yes, this stock is up over 2% in trade today. So JSW New Energy, a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, has received a letter of award for ISTS connected wind solar hybrid power project of 300 megawatt from Solar Energy Corporation of India. Now, subsequent to this capacity award, company's total locked-in capacity increases to 13.6 gigawatt, and company expects to have an installed generation capacity of around 9.8 gigawatt by this year of 2024, which is up from 7.3 currently. Also, if you see the chart, the stock has touched record high today. It trades above key DMA level and has gained over 70% this year.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about MGL then, Aditya. And on the charts, how is MGL looking to you? Because, you know, also the moves in MGL, or for the matter of fact, IGL, half the time is also dependent what exactly happens to the prices, the news, the sentiment, the policies that surround it. But on the charts, do you think that irrespective of what the news flow is, the stock will rise going ahead?
I think so, and if anything, the news flows are positive, I believe, Cheryl, for the entire sector, which is why we are seeing good buying in all these stocks. Talking of MGL specifically, it's broken out from a good consolidation, a very long consolidation phase, rather, I would say. And now it's getting up for a big up move, I believe, on the upside. Recent corrections have also halted at key support at moving averages and also taken support at the trend line. So I think it has done with its correction, intermediate correction that it had to do so. On the upside, it can easily test levels of 1600 to about 1700. On the downside, immediate support is at 1450. So with a stop loss just of 50-60 rupees, I think so one can definitely look at going aggressive long on the stock, I would say. Because the technical indicators are suggesting that the stock will see higher levels in the coming trading sessions.
All right, that's MGL. But moving on, Jinay, Havells is what you've picked out for us. Tell us, a brokerage note came out this morning. Tell us what is the note saying?
Jefferies came up with a note on Havells. They have maintained their hold rating with a target price of rupees 1800. What they believe is that key drivers for Lloyd margins could be normalizing ad spends, capacity utilization and cost savings. Now in FY 2024, we saw a strong B2B demand for the company but witnessed some capacity constraints in the cable segment. Now what Jefferies is estimating a 25% capacity addition by June of 2025, and they're expecting an EPS CAGR of about growing 21% from FY 2024 to FY 2027, led by margins revival as well. And that is why the stock is buzzing up around 1%.
All right, so that is all about Havells for you. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. More stocks to discuss on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.